Welcome to another Poetry Deep Dive today. I love Denis Martindale. He has written over 3,700 poems for the Poemhunter website. Denis Martindale has written a new poem called Spider-Man, and here's what the poem's message shares with us today. 3,700. I mean, it is absolutely staggering when you really stop to think about the sheer volume of creative output that represents. Denis Martindale is just this wonderfully prolific poet on the Poemhunter platform, constantly offering his readers new verses, new stories, and totally fresh perspectives. And with this new release, he's turning his poetic lens toward an absolute cultural icon. He gives us this amazing tribute to the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. But, as we're going to see as we walk through this explainer together, Martindale goes way beyond just praising a superhero. He actually sets us up with a really fascinating twist about the harsh realities of wearing the mask.
So the poem kicks off exactly how you'd expect a thrilling comic book adventure to begin. The pacing is super fast, the energy is through the roof, and the focus is entirely on the spectacle of our friendly neighborhood hero just doing what he does best. Night or day, Spider-Man is out there. The poem immediately praises the local hero for all he's worth, thrusting us right into the heart-pounding action of his nightly patrols. We are right there with him, swinging into the danger zone, completely ready to face whatever the city throws at him.
Okay, let's dive into this. Let's break down exactly what makes him such a formidable protector, according to those opening stanzas. Martindale highlights the classic, iconic arsenal. You've got the famous spider sense that serves him so well in detecting danger, his incredible ability to shoot webs, his crazy fast reflexes, and of course, his super strength. But notice that third detail. The poem specifically states, and, credit where credit is due, he has no guns or swords. It's such a fantastic point. Martindale is explicitly celebrating the non-lethal nature of Spider-Man's vigilantism. He's facing incredible danger with his arms outstretched at full length, relying purely on his unique gifts and his innate courage to get the job done.
And how exactly does he apply all these incredible powers? Well, the poem outlines this thrilling, endless cycle of his nightly routine. Step 1, he listens to the radio to learn what felons have stolen, what they want to sell, and just generally what's going down. Step 2, once he's in the know, he swoops dramatically across the town. And Step 3, he shoots his webs so the crooks stand still, and he basically leaves them all wrapped up for the cops to find. It sounds like an incredible adrenaline rush, doesn't it? But then, the poem imparts a very sobering truth right here. It says, and while at first that's such a thrill, in truth, crime never stops. It is quite literally a never-ending cycle.
And that endless cycle brings incredibly high stakes, which are perfectly captured in this powerful quote from the text. He knows the challenge he must face. This night could be his last. Just imagine carrying that kind of weight. Sure, sometimes he saves lives and the crowd goes wild applauding his heroism, but he has to embrace this terrifying truth every single night. He's mustering the courage for each dangerous task without ever looking downcast. It is the absolute ultimate picture of idealized bravery and self-sacrifice. He is giving literally everything to the city.
But can he really do that every night? To have no life at all? Here is where the poem fundamentally shifts. We go from those rapid, thrilling heights of swooping across the city skyline right down to the quiet, heavy reality of the human being beneath the mask. Martindale forces us to pause for a second. He makes us truly reflect on the sheer exhaustion of this existence. Honestly, it's enough to cause a fright. It's a life that requires stripping away all personal desires, all downtime, and any sense of normalcy.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is where Martindale completely flips the script on us. Just as we're really feeling that heavy burden of Spider-Man's sacrifices, the narrator of the poem steps in with this wonderfully grounded, almost humorous shift in perspective. Because instead of saying, wow, I wish I could be that brave, the narrator essentially says, wow, I am so glad I am not doing that. The poem introduces this totally relatable twist that takes the whole superhero fantasy and crashes it brilliantly into the realities of an everyday romantic life.
Notice the brilliant contrast Martindale creates in these later stanzas. On one side, we have Spider-Man. As the poem says, he starts straight from home, heading out into the dark to be a hero to the end, on patrol and doing stuff, constantly trying to do his part. But then, on the other side, we have our narrator's reality. The narrator actively chooses not to roam. Why? Well, because, as he notes, he stays at home, kissing, full of love, up close with his sweetheart. The lonely, freezing, dangerous vigilante life is set directly against a cozy, warm, romantic night in.
And that brings us to this incredibly funny, pragmatic conclusion from the narrator. Well, that's good for you, young hero. Yes, good for you indeed. But since I've got a girlfriend, bro, I'll let you take the lead. The narrator totally acknowledges the greatness of the hero's actions, but he respectfully bows out. He admits that having absolutely no life of his own would basically drive him up the wall. If he had to choose between fighting crime in the freezing cold or staying home with his gorgeous girlfriend, he is picking the girlfriend every single time. It's this charmingly honest admission that completely humanizes the entire superhero concept.
And this brings us to the core definition and the true message of this piece, written by Denis Martindale for the 11th of May, 2026. The cost of heroism isn't just about risking physical injury. It's about the immense personal sacrifice. It is the complete loss of a normal, romantic, relaxed life. The source text points out that a lot of young guys think about the thrill of being a vigilante hero, swooping across the town, hearing the crowds applaud. But this poem asks a very direct question. Have they truly taken the time to count the cost?
As the source text concludes, it actually draws on the legendary catchphrase of Spider-Man's co-creator, Stan Lee. Nuff said. Martindale's poem brilliantly celebrates the friendly neighborhood hero while simultaneously reminding us of the beautiful, comfortable simplicity of just an ordinary life filled with love. So I want to leave you with this final thought to consider. If you were given the powers, the spider sense, and the strength tomorrow, would you truly trade your peaceful, romantic nights at home to take on the endless burden of the city? Or would you, like our narrator, let someone else take the lead?